and welcome to CNN Business Traveller. I'm Richard Quest, this month reporting from the Hungarian capital, Budapest. We are here because the old charm of Buda, combined with the cosmopolitan pest, is symbolic of what's happening in this country. A spirit of renewal and reinvention. And it's what we're also seeing in the travel industry. So on this month's programme, we're out with the old, in with the new. Coming up, the airline Maliv has gone bust, so who's taking its place? The Ferrari president shows us his new high-speed train.
For me, high-speed train will be the future of Europe.
And from France, getting more mileage from old planes. Budapest Airport, codenamed BUD, Bud. As the tower clears another plane for takeoff, there's one airline call sign that these air traffic controllers haven't used in months. In February, Hungary's national carrier Maliv went bankrupt after failed attempts to keep it in the air. Eventually, the government pulled the plug on the airline.
Down and out rivals sweep in as Hungary's national carrier goes bust.
Planes were grounded, passengers stranded, routes abandoned. Maliv was no more. Budapest-based low-cost carrier Wizz Air was able to react immediately.
We were ready for the collapse. We have a number of plans on the shelf. That's why we were able to announce a 50% increase in our capacity in Budapest within several hours of Maliv's actually ceasing operations. We think it's good news for our business to have irrational competitors removed from the market. This is an environment in which the strong get stronger and the weak get weaker.
Other airlines also stormed in to fill the gaping hole left by Maliv. On the same day Maliv went bust, Ryanair announced 26 new routes out of the capital. EasyJet added rescue flights, and European airlines like Air Berlin and Transavia added new routes into Hungary, along with Qatar Airways. While others like Lufthansa and Aeroflot increased the frequency of their existing scheduled flights.
It waves a flag to the whole industry that there's an opportunity to move in and to replace that capacity. I think the unfortunate thing is that normally in the short term that results in overcapacity as many airlines try to replace the same capacity. But competition is a fact of life. There's a lot of growth to be had in Central and Eastern Europe. Our footprint is entirely in Central and Eastern Europe, and therefore we've got a pure exposure to the better growth prospects in Central and Eastern Europe. Western Europe is not growing anymore. Eastern Europe still has a lot of growth potential, and we're very well positioned to exploit those opportunities.
Budapest Airport marches on into a new era without Maliv, ending more than 60 years of history together, and the income the airline brought in as Bud's home and hub carrier. Budapest Airport has had to move quickly to stem the losses now Maliv's no longer flying. It's closing down the magnificent 1950s Terminal 1 and moving all the airlines into the new Terminal 2. Without Maliv's revenues, having two terminals was simply uneconomic. Now all the passengers come through Terminal 2 with its new Sky Court. While airlines are jostling for position in Budapest, without a hub carrier, the airport is losing its own battle with the government. As you look to new routes and new airlines, you've got one big problem, and that is the Hungarian government will not accept that there won't be a new Hungarian airline.
You're absolutely right, Richard, and that's what we're lacking most still. There are restricted destinations, restricted markets, Russia, Ukraine, Tel Aviv, Israel, Turkey. We need the Hungarian government to open this market for existing carriers to have exactly strong growth opportunities there. We need them.
But they believe there could still be a Hungarian carrier.
Don't ask me why. I hope this is really now disappearing every day, and soon they give hopefully these traffic rights. We need this decision quickly. This summer is already lost for us. We need to start it from winter immediately.
Do you fear that the model has changed the carriers will be taking the people from Budapest, as Lufthansa is in the morning, to their hubs and out to the rest of the world.
You're absolutely right. It became more difficult without a hub carrier. And I mean, what is most important for us, of course, to have also the support here from the government, to have a joint initiative, because to develop this against such strong competitions now in the region, or we need to wait for the failures of others that will come, no doubt for me. The consolidation will go on. But yes, it is difficult for us, but again, there are opportunities.
Without a carrier setting up base here, the low-cost airlines and the passengers they bring must make up the shortfall.
What is fantastic in this situation is to see how the aviation industry is moving. If there is a demand, if there is a gap, they react immediately. Tourism is not affected at all because of the Maldives collapse. At the moment, February and March, we were up by 15 and 18% as number of tourists coming to Budapest region. Some markets like Russia or some Scandinavia, we are a little bit behind than last year as number of daily connections, but I'm sure that the time will resolve this issue as well because demand is there towards Hungary.
Whatever happens, there's a new reality at Bud. Many routes are unlikely to return, and for the time being anyway, the danger persists. So Budapest must rely on outside forces. Coming up after the break, squeezing more mileage out of old planes. That's next.